Okay, welcome back everybody. Now we're going to do an input problem. The numbers are the same. I erased here at the bottom obviously, but what I did here for clarity, I put hours because in this case it's labor input. How many hours of labor does it take Italy to produce 1 unit of macaroni? And it takes Italy 30 hours to produce 1 unit of macaroni, whereby it takes France 20 hours to produce 1 unit of macaroni. So obviously France is better at producing macaroni because it takes them less time to produce it. So France would have the absolute advantage. Over here with cheese, it takes Italy 10 hours to produce a block of cheese, where it takes France 4 times longer, 40 hours to produce a block of cheese. So obviously Italy's better at producing cheese given these numbers, and they would have the absolute advantage. But let's figure out who has the comparative advantage. And it's very similar to output problems with one little difference. So let's do it. Italy, Mac. So what we're going to do is we're going to equate. When we want to find out who has the comparative advantage in this good, for example, macaroni, we are going to make this column equal to 1. Now, you take this denominator and you make it the numerator. 30 over 10 equals 3. You take this denominator and make it the numerator. 20 over 40 equals 1/2. So, what do? We circle the lower number. Obviously, 1/2 is lower than 3. And then we stay in our columns, right? 1/2 belongs to France. And whatever column we equated into 1 is the product in question. So France enjoys the comparative advantage in the production of macaroni and cheese. Why? Because they can produce it at a low opportunity cost. So let's write that down. France will produce mac because, and if you have to do one of these on the AP exam in 2 days, you will have to say this for credit. France will produce macaroni because they enjoy the lower, half is lower than 3, opportunity cost. Okay, let's do the other side just to solidify. But I have to erase. So what we're going to do is now we want to see who's got the comparative advantage in cheese. You're probably already guessing. I erased the wrong number. Let's bring that back. And erase this. Erase that. Really quick. Okay, again, when we're doing the input problems, it's an input. It's going to take, we're focusing on cheese. It's going to take France 40 hours to produce cheese, where it takes Italy 10. But let's do the math. Okay, so we're going to put this, the product that we want to know who is going to produce and enjoy the comparative advantage, in this case cheese, whatever that product is that we equate to 1. Let's put this, make that 1. So now we're going to use the denominator over here and put it up top here. And obviously 10 over 30 equals 1/3. And we're going to take the denominator and put it up top. And 40 over 20 obviously equals 2. What number is lower, 2 or 1/3? Obviously 1/3. And so now, what product were we talking about? Cheese. And in whose row did we circle the lower opportunity cost? Italy. So, Italy will produce cheese because it can do so at a lower opportunity cost. You could also say they have the comparative advantage. But of course, if they ask you what country has the comparative advantage, you can't say Italy because they have the comparative advantage. You would have to say Italy because they can produce at a lower opportunity cost. Again, over here, 1/3. So just keep in mind, the first thing you want to figure out if confronted with a comparative advantage question is it an output or an input? If it's an output, you do like the video before. If it's an input, just make sure the one column's denominator becomes the other column's numerator. Good luck, everybody.